Hey guys, welcome to another Warframe video, and today we're gonna take a quick look at a heavy blade Zo that I put together for my Spore Sarin to farm Elite Sanctuary Onslaught with the Lifehunt Scythe. I originally wanted to make a polearm, but then I saw a lot of people are running around with these crazy looking scythes, so I decided to try it as well, and I used the Dokram Strike, the Sakala Grip, and the Aquana Jai to link. And I chose these parts to get as much attack speed and status chance as possible. Now, the setup I'm currently running on my Sarin, and I like an awful lot, is a 4-forma build where I've added 2 Vs, a D and a dash, and I use the polarity that you get when you guild the weapon to change the stance polarity from a V into a D so I can use Tempo Royale. And I wanted to use Tempo Royale because of August Mesto, which is the block combo and my favorite combo in the entire game. It's just super fun. I'm then running Prime Pressure Point for damage, Prime Fury for attack speed, Condition Overload for even more damage as I proc more stages on the enemy, but you can easily switch this for Reach or Primed Reach because this Zo has a crazy amount of range, so if you then boost it with Primed Reach, you're going to be able to hit enemies that are really far away. Also, Condition Overload at times feels like a bit of an overkill. Next up, I'm running Healing Return, which is basically the only thing that's keeping my Sarin alive in Elite Sanctuary Onslaught because it restores 11 health for every status effect you have on the enemy. This is really strong with this whole setup because you will always have viral on the enemy from spores, and we're also using gas which spreads toxin around. After that, I'm using Drifting Contact, so sustaining my combo counter is easier and it also adds a little bit of status. Weeping Wound, which is going to fill out the missing status and basically cap me after a couple of hits, and finally I have Volcanic Edge and Pride Fever Strike for gas damage. And as I mentioned already, this Zo was built so that it complements my Spore Sarin that I use for solo farming Elite Sanctuary Onslaught. Now, while I was pretty sure that this setup was going to be at least somewhat decent at worst, I was honestly not expecting, that. This setup is pretty spicy. And it's not just the Infested either, it does the same thing versus the Corpus. You basically pop the spores and poof, everybody's dead, Dave. And while it is a little bit slower versus the Grenier, it's still pretty mental. Now, this isn't the only ridiculous thing this weapon can do, because there's also Config B, which I just straight up decided to call LOL, and all this is designed to do is this. This is so good. This just takes my Galatine setup, which I thought was pretty fun, and blows it out of the water. It's just stupid. This is something you have to try yourself because, oh my god, this is just not optional, just go and do it. But anyway, let's go back to the Sarin setup. So, as I've mentioned at the beginning, I did originally wanted to build a polearm, something similar to my poor man Orthos Prime, which I've already showcased in a video, that would just run a straight up meta build, right? It would have Meme Strike, it would have Primed Reach, it would have some gas or viral damage, and it would be the most boring thing in the world. Because Meme Strike setups, while very effective, are also incredibly dull. And while this really isn't that much different, it's not rocket science. I mean, you're holding down the block button and mashing the melee button, it feels more fun, it feels more exciting. It's not as good as memeing around though, that's one thing you have to bear in mind. It is more fun, but it is not as effective as meme striking around with a good whip or polearm. But that doesn't matter that much, because it can still solo 8 zones in Elite Sanctuary Onslaught, which is what I wanted it to do. I don't need to go any further than that. So yeah, this is just a really fun and pretty effective Zo that I would highly recommend you try out. It is just buckets of fun and it is not that expensive. You don't have to go for a 4-forma build with this, you can go for something a little bit cheaper. And that's pretty much all I wanted to say, so I thank you very much for watching. As always, I hope you have enjoyed the video and I will see you next time. Bye bye.